AJ, you've got a guardian angel, my friend. God has his arms wrapped around you then. Condolences to the deceased. So terrible, young people. It just goes to show you, it's a stark reminder, but people, you've got to start paying attention.
It all came from Adam and Eve. In the beginning, everybody on earth. Remember that. Spread love, not hate. And spread peace, not war.
Tyson Fury has finally reacted after Anthony Joshua's shocking crash, an incident that's left the boxing world shaken and their long-awaited showdown in doubt. Kicking things off, Vladimir Klitschko reacted to the tragic news about Anthony Joshua's accident, expressing deep sadness over what he and his close friends went through. He recalled their memorable fight, praised Joshua's character and professionalism, and extended his support and best wishes to Joshua and his family during this painful period. Vladimir wrote a tweet, "I'm deeply saddened to hear about AJ and his close-knit group of friends. Having had the pleasure of engaging in an unforgettable battle with AJ, I've always regarded him as a true class act who commands my utmost respect. My heart goes out to him, and I wish him and his loved ones all the best during this difficult time." Wade Plemons stepped in sharply, criticizing Bryce Mitchell for comments that loosely linked Jake Paul to Anthony Joshua's accident. Plemons called the remarks reckless and tone-deaf, pointing out that making wild references during a real tragedy only undermines credibility and exposes the hypocrisy behind Mitchell's online behavior. Wade wrote, "Bryce sure does like to remind people he's an absolute moron a lot. Makes all that Christian talk a lot less believable when you hop online doing this." Next, reacting to the incident, Gareth A. Davies said it was almost unbelievable to see Anthony Joshua emerging from the wreckage in pain. He described the loss of two close members of Joshua's training team as a devastating tragedy and offered his condolences to their families. Gareth said, "It was almost unbelievable to hear what had happened and to see images of Anthony Joshua climbing out of the vehicle in pain. After contacting his management team, I learned that Kevin Ayodele and Sina Gami, two quiet and close members of his training team, had tragically lost their lives. It's absolutely devastating and a terrible tragedy to strike at this time of year. My condolences are with their families."
It was almost unbelievable to hear what had happened and to see some images of Anthony climbing out of a vehicle in pain, and then to hear, because I contacted his management team, that Kevin Ayodele and Sina Gami, two of his close associates with his training team, and I don't know them intimately, they're very quiet men, they're not out there and talking to everyone. Absolutely devastated to hear that he'd lost two of his very close aides, if you like. And it's a terrible tragedy to strike at this time of year. It's always a tragedy for the family. I have condolences to them.
He pointed to the mental aftermath, saying that the PTSD Joshua may face cannot be overlooked, noting that while no serious injuries are apparent right now, the full impact may only become clear in the days ahead, the PTSD that he may feel from this. Obviously, it doesn't look like he suffered any serious injuries at the moment, but who knows what may transpire in the days ahead, whether there are any underlying issues. He further added that the two men were more than just staff, describing them as close friends who formed a vital part of Anthony Joshua's inner support system, and explained that their loss meant Joshua would need time to recover mentally and emotionally, not just physically, before considering any return. He added, "These two men were his personal trainer and exercise rehab coach, but more than that, they were close aides and close friends. Losing them means he's lost two people who were part of his mental, psychological, and spiritual scaffolding. He'll have to recover from this in all those ways, not just physically, before he can even think about going again."
You know, whether he has any vascular injuries or not. It will be, you know, personal trainer and exercise rehab coach, these two guys, obviously to him. But like you say, if he's taking them, his family are from Ogun State, Anthony's. If he's got these guys with him as part of his team, they're close aides, close friends. He's going to have lost two very close friends, two members of his team who are part of his mental, psychological, and spiritual scaffolding. He will have to recover from this in all those ways, as well as physically.
Next, Josh Thompson stepped in and called the situation tragic and said Anthony Joshua was fortunate to be sitting in the back seat, adding that he genuinely believed that decision played a major role in saving Joshua's life as he mourned the loss of two close friends.
News with Anthony Joshua losing two of his friends, for him being very blessed that he was in the back seat. And I got to be honest, man, this is what went through my mind right away when I found out he was in the back seat. I'm a smaller guy. You know, I'm 5'10", you know, maybe 175 pounds. Right now, I'm probably 178 because I'm fat. I got like the full dad bod going on after holidays. But I always say, hey, like if you're a bigger guy than me, I'll say, hey, why don't you sit in front? And it just went through my mind. This guy's probably the biggest guy out of his two buddies. Don't get me wrong, his other two buddies looked like they were pretty fit. But he was close friends with them. And he, as a, you know, a former champion, and, you know, obviously just fought Jake Paul, all of this going on, he sat in the back seat, which I think saved his life. 100%, I believe it saved his life.
He added that even without knowing Anthony Joshua personally, it was chilling to grasp just how close he came to death, describing the loss of his two friends as heartbreaking and the entire situation as deeply horrific.
I don't know Anthony Joshua. I've only seen him in passing one time. Didn't talk to him. Don't know him at all. But it's very scary to think that you cheated death that close. And I just want to say, man, I'm so sorry for your loss, your two friends, and this is very unfortunate, man. I believe he was in Nigeria. Is this correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I was in Nigeria, and just this horrible news. Horrible news.
Additionally, John Fury also chimed in, saying Joshua was clearly protected in that moment and offering his condolences to those who lost their lives. He stressed how quickly life can change, warning people to stay fully alert on the road and avoid drinking or drugs, because tragedy often hits when everything feels fine and your guard is down.
AJ, you've got a guardian angel, my friend. God had his arms wrapped around you then. Condolences to the deceased. So terrible, young people. It just goes to show you, it's a stark reminder that people, you've got to start paying attention. When driving a vehicle, you've got to be on clock at all times in a sound mind. Please don't drink. When you think it's all right, it's not. Please don't drug. When you think you can, you can't. It's a stark reminder that life's most fragile when you're enjoying yourself at the most. You know, when you're in a good time and you're not thinking and everything's dandy, that's when tragedy can strike. That's when you're most vulnerable, so.
He once again added his condolences to the families, calling the loss heartbreaking. Fury said AJ was incredibly fortunate to survive such a violent crash and expressed relief that he's still alive, reminding everyone how fragile life can be and urging people to take care and stay safe.
Condolences to the deceased's family. Two young men should never have happened. AJ, God had his arms wrapped around you tight, you know, because looking at that crash, you're one lucky guy. And I'm pleased you're alive, son. I'm pleased you're alive. God bless you. People, take care and have a happy new year if you can.
Moving on, Johnny Nelson reflected on the tragedy, saying the heartbreaking news from Nigeria reminds you how quickly life can change and how talk of fights or rivalries fades into nothing when weighed against real loss and human life.
I'm all right. The year's ending. Unfortunately, with the devastating news that we heard happened out in Nigeria, it's just sad. It just makes you realise how valuable life is and how things can change in a heartbeat. So when we talk about fights and we talk about beefs and, you know, these things are just nothing when it comes to real life and losing a life. So it was a sad thing to hear, a sad thing to see.
He added that tragedies like this leave deep emotional scars on everyone involved, but the real heartbreak is for the families who lost their loved ones. He said it's the kind of pain you wouldn't wish on anyone, and moments like this make you cherish the people closest to you even more.
God knows how it'll affect those that saw it mentally, emotionally. But you've got to think about these two men were somebody's child, someone's brother. And that's what you've got to think about, those people that have lost their lives. Now, that is the saddest thing you could ever even imagine. And you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. And now it's just somehow, you know, it's a bit early to say, but it's somehow trying to recover from that and build from that. It's just, to me, it makes you just appreciate those close to you.
Moving over to Tyson Fury, he shared a powerful message calling for unity, reminding people that humanity isn't divided by race or religion, and urging everyone to choose love, compassion, and peace over hate in a moment that demands it most.
This goes out to Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, blacks, whites, Chineses, everybody on earth. This goes out to you. We are not divided. We are one peoples under God, united. That's what we are. Let no government, let no spokesperson, let no politician drive a wedge between humanity. Welcome your brothers and sisters as one. They are not your enemies. They are your brothers and sisters under God. We all came from Adam and Eve. In the beginning, everybody on earth. Remember that. Spread love, not hate. And spread peace, not war.
Now reacting to Anthony Joshua's tragic accident, Tyson posted an emotional Instagram story, sharing photos of AJ with his late friends and expressing deep sadness while offering prayers for the souls of those who passed away. "This is so sad. May God give them a good bed in heaven. There's no tomorrow. Live, love, and give." Meanwhile, reacting to the news, Gerald Miller said it didn't hit him right away, but as more details came out, it started to feel real. He explained that imagining it happening to his own friends made it sink in, and that's when his heart truly went out to Anthony Joshua.
When I first heard about the age situation, it didn't really affect me too much. I was hoping he was all right, and of course more information started coming out, and it started really tinkering back in my head like, yo, what if that was my cousins or my homeboys, my road dogs, and yo, that really started to really feel for the brother.
He added that despite their past issues, he genuinely feels for AJ. He said watching everything play out has been emotionally heavy, especially when he thinks about how easily it could have been his own family or close friends. He even offered to be a listening ear for AJ, stressing that it wouldn't be about boxing, just real support in a tough moment.
We not on the best terms, man. I feel for this brother, man. Because it could have been my family, could have been my friends. And, I feel like, man, it's mentally, kind of draining looking at this stuff all day on the line. And like I said, I didn't really see nothing too graphic until this morning was like, now I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my life, man. I've seen dead bodies before and all that. Man, I don't even know how to even express myself because, I'm never really lost for words, bro. But, yo, I know AJ, if he ain't got nobody to really talk to like a real motherfucker like me, bro, send that dude my number, man. Send that dude my number, bro. If you want somebody to talk to, man, like I said, listen, man, we don't even got to talk boxing, bro. We even got to talk boxing.
It didn't stop there, as Mustafa Briggs, a close friend of Latif, shared how devastating the day had been for him. He said Latif wasn't just a friend, but family, someone who had been part of his circle for years. Describing Latif as kind, genuine, and pure at heart, he made it clear just how deeply this loss has shaken him.
Honestly, this is one of the craziest, toughest days of my life because, Latif is somebody that I've been extremely close to for nearly a decade. He's one of my best friends. He's one of my inner circle, Yeah, Latif was my friend. I knew Sinner through him. So the small interactions that I've had with Sinner, he seems like an amazing person. But as far as Latif is concerned, he was one of the most pure-hearted, clean-hearted people ever.
Now, there is news that Anthony Joshua has been released from the hospital after doctors confirmed he was clinically fit to continue his recovery at home following Monday's car crash. It was also reported that he and his mother visited a funeral home in Lagos to pay their final respects to his two close friends.
Boxer Anthony Joshua has been released from hospital, according to Nigerian authorities. The two-time former heavyweight champion was involved in a road crash that killed two of his close associates near Lagos on Monday. Joshua had since been under observation at a hospital in Lagos while recovering from minor injuries.
Meanwhile, Bashir Ahmad Oyuan revealed in a tweet that Latif Ayodele's friends overseas chose to honor his memory by supporting a mosque project. He noted that the initiative was organized and funded abroad, despite strong reactions coming from Nigeria. He ended by describing it as a meaningful tribute and offering prayers for Latif's eternal reward. He tweeted, friends of the late Latif Ayodele in the UAE and the UK raised over $180,000 to build a mosque in his honor. This project has nothing to do with Nigeria, except that the unfortunate accident that claimed his precious life happened here. The funds were not generated in Nigeria, and the project is not going to be executed in Nigeria. Yet, it is Nigerian people who are most vehemently opposed and angry about it. This is exactly how I would love my friends to honor me. May Allah accept it for the departed brother and grant him the highest rank in Jannah. Ameen. In the end, everyone stands united in grief. The boxing world is sharing the same heartbreak for Anthony Joshua and those he lost. Rivalries have faded into the background as messages of love, prayers, and support continue to pour in. It's a sobering moment that reminds fans and fighters alike of what truly matters beyond the ring.